Alright guys, just got back home from working, and lift's here way quicker than expected. Today's Friday, it wasn't supposed to be here till Monday, but it's here, so we're about to put it on. Alright guys, before I put this lift on, I'm going to add a little context. If you want to hear this, just skip to where I actually start putting it on. But I add a little context to why I chose this lift and what I plan to do. Bill's seen 5100, the most popular lift. You know, it's like $1,000, not real expensive, nothing crazy. And I was wanting to do that on this, but you know, I do not want to build struts myself. I don't want to do that. So there's companies that sell it for a little more money already put together, but you know, $1,000 that ain't much. But you know, we got the V8 swap for the S10 going on, the Jimmy, I think the transmission just died in it, or transfer case. You know, other things, you know, I was like, and all I want to do is be able to put these 35s on here, and I might be trading rims this weekend. But so I was thinking, you know, but I don't want to go super cheap dog water lift and have it ride bad. So I was thinking, what's one thing important for ride quality is your front struts and your rear shocks. So I was like, well, I'll just get a cheap set of springs to lift. I'm not be pulling over at crazy weight with this. 5 so that's probably the most I ever pulled this. That's an emergency. And so then I was looking into, you know, spacers. You can get lift spacers for these, 1, 2, 3 inch lift spacers for about $30. A bunch of companies sell them. I was like, well, you know, I wonder how the quality of that would be versus getting a complete lift strut. It's like, you know, so I was thinking if I could just buy a cheap little lift spacer, I can always go back. Let's send me a sticker. I like that. And that is the brand lift we got. It's a Max Speed, but again, it's just 2 shocks, 2 spacers, 2 coils. But Freedom Off-Road, other companies sell just coilovers, 1 to 4 inch lift coilovers, adjustable, and they're, you know, depends what company, it's $500, $700, $1,000. And if I don't even know how long I'm gonna keep this thing. So should I go with the expensive lift? I just want to put the tires on, so I sit waiting for a front end to be done before I start driving it. So you know, I'm just gonna, if I like it later on, I'll throw some coilovers on this thing. You know, $500, $600, $700, $1,000 coilovers, and then I just run my old Max Speed cheap coils. These bad boys right here. I'll run these forever because coils aren't really important to me. And then I'll probably later on throw some Bilstein shocks on the back or something. You know, I didn't want to go rough country because basically the same lift, probably the same quality to be honest, but it's twice the price. So this lift was $250. You can get them a little cheaper than that. Even, you know, you can throw 35s on. You know, take your running boards off, take a little piece of trim off. You might have to shade your ballast. Boom. So enough talking. Let's get this thing put on. Alright guys, first step is removing the Carter key and the tie rod, and we'll pop it off, or I should say what's left of it. I don't think I've ever seen a Carter key this rough in my life. That's another reason why I don't trust this. Yeah, it literally just, I can bend it with my fingers. It's like, but again, like I don't even trust this thing out of my driveway until I get the ball joints and tie rods done on it. Because again, these things had a recall on the ball joints. So again, if you're going to be doing any kind of a lift or 33s, 35s, you definitely need to do ball joints. There we go. 19 mil for the tie rod nut. So we can came off easy. That's good. Now I'm gonna grab a hammer, tap that knuckle, see if we can break it free. Alright, let's see if we can tap that knuckle. Ran into our first problem. This nut literally has no threads and the shaft literally has no threads. Like that, there is no telling how long that's been on there. Wow, that is pathetic. Look at that, no threads even left on that joker, dude. Wow, there is no telling how old that thing is. Alright guys, 10 mil, I'm gonna take my brake line brackets off. Alright, again, we're gonna take what's left of our Carter key here off. Alright, this Carter key is so it's rusted, I'm just taking and cut it. And then I'm just gonna, I might see if I can pull it from the front here one more time, and then I'm just gonna hammer a socket on there. Take and beat it in some. I'm just gonna make a socket go on and deal with the issue later. Alright guys, I missed it. Had to find a short socket, but I went ahead and busted this off. And then here's our Carter key. Now I'm gonna take and just tap up on this. Hopefully it wants to bust loose. Yes. Alright guys, it was two 19 millimeters or 3/4. Get the lower strut bolt out. Now we've got a 9/16 up here on the top ones. Really broke it. Dang, son. It's been so long since this has been messed with, I'm sure. I got one more in the back. Probably the hardest one to get to, but no biggie. Broke. There we go. Now we'll just get all three of these out all the way. So slowly but surely, all three bolts are out. So I should just pop it out and fall. Yep. One more thing I forgot, and we'll do it. We'll go ahead and put our spacer on, but you have to take the sway bar end link apart so let the control arm drop down a little bit. But we'll do that after when we go put it back together. These are my 3-inch lift spacers, and they're only about a little less than 2 inches because for every inch spacer you use, it's about doubled for the actual lift you get. So all we gotta do is pop these bolts off here, nuts off here. Shiniest thing on this thing. Then run it through the old holes. Now grab our 3 old nuts. Pop them bad boys on here. Have our impact ready to torque these down. And I'm so curious to see how it's going to be with a spacer lift, how the ride quality will be. Alright, that's it right there. Now we're going to throw this back in. Alright, now basically everything we just did, but again, except for it'll be a little more difficult because of our strut being taller now. We'll see how it goes. Alright, not bad, so it's lining up pretty decently. I'll get my bottom bolt in here first. Pick up on it. Yeah, that went easy. Alright guys, I kind of had to pick up on the strut while I pushed down the control arm. And I got it in there. Mine had a washer on the back side, but on the nut side, so If yours has that, make sure to put it back on right. Throw our nut on there. And we'll just leave it snug for now. We'll get our 3 bolts that we just took off, put them up here. Much better than the old ones. You can't see it, but our 3 5/8 nuts up here, we're going to snug them up. This is the part where you'll need a jack. You need to jack up on your lower control arm. So your sway bar end link will come up, because now that you have a longer strut, it doesn't come up like it did before. Make sure you put this stuff back together right. Don't want to cross thread it or anything like that. Works. There we go. That's done. Alright, this right here is the funnest part, getting the ball joint back into the control arm with the spacer in. It is the fun part. So, the best thing you can do is get you like a pry bar right up in here. Pry down on the, well, you gotta hold the knuckle. Down with it. Right there. Now, do not slip out. Okay, we're good now. Alright. Now you can let go of that and tighten it up with a wrench or something. Something that's not going to hurt you. Alright, you guys literally almost missed this entire side. It just went so much quicker than the other side. Main reason is because somebody's actually replaced parts on this side, like the tie rod and the ball joint, so it wasn't a million years of having been touched. This one right here. We'll see if we can go ahead and get this back down like we did the other side. Jack up on it some. How's that go? Pry this down the rest of the way, like we did the other side. It's not too hard to do. Oh, just going. Set the nut down for a second. Alright, we've got it. Getting a cramp in my hip right as I'm doing this. Okay. Nothing crazy. Just put a wrench on there and make sure it's not too tight. Right there's good, right? Break it a little bit. Right there. Now I gotta throw my brake lines back on, and I'm pretty sure we're done. Gotta throw the nut on the sway bar end link and put the tie rod back on. Easy, quick stuff, and then we're done. For the front. Done on the front lift, just gotta throw the tire back on. And again, it was a 3-inch lift. Spacer lift. So yes sir, throw the tire on, see how bad it rubs. And then we'll be right back in here again to do the front suspension, or front suspension. I may do CV axles, I'm not sure, I'll look at them. I'm going to do upper lower ball joints, brakes, and sway bar end links, tie rods, all that good stuff. Make this thing a good daily driver. Alright, height reveal. Got stands out from under it. I'm like 5'9" or something. Up. Needs to pass my knee, or I'll get a tape out. Show you guys the clearance on it. See if we can clear I know we can't clear a bucket, but we can almost clear a chair. That is it. Gives me that like Baja look. If you look at it from the front, it's got the small tires and the high lift. It's got good clearance. Looks good. That's about perfect lift right there. I still need to do the back. And it's got 400 pounds in the back too, so it's sitting more lean than it would. I like you can just see right in there. See that nice shiny spacer? Yes, sir. And I had to see, fingers crossed, still clear. I'm not sure. You see that front ballast? I don't know. They might not rub. Oh wow, it really looks stretched out there. Alright guys, let me get started on the rear lift. So, you get these tires out of here. That's just extra weight. Pushing down the spring. Well, needed. Definitely not needed. These weigh 110 pounds each, so that's 440 pounds in the back. Barely even squatted now. Yeah, barely even tooted now. Like maybe an inch, which it is on a heel, but I'm just saying, like, if you look at tire fender, the tire clearance, it's barely even squatted at all. It's rear lift time. This is where it kind of gets kind of sketchy, because this vehicle has insane flex from the axles. Like literally, you have to jack the rear end up like 6 inches before the tire even starts coming off the ground. It's ridiculous. But anyway, we'll start getting this axle, everything loosened up that we have to be able to get our new spring in. And yeah. Alright, first thing you guys want to do for the back, once you get one side jacked up good, is take this rear sway bar link loose. Go. Get that out. Pop our bushing and stuff off now so we don't lose them when they pop off themselves. Alright guys, what you want to do now, take your brake line bolts out so you can flex them a little bit. I already took this one out with the drill. This one I get with a wrench. One right here as well. Got it free like that right there. Be careful, don't break it or anything, but you can flex them a little bit. Now we're going to take our shock off, both of them actually, and it's a 17mm. Alright guys, this is actually the next day. I didn't record a whole lot of doing the rear. It's pretty easy. If you're looking for a how-to video, Rough Country has a good video installing the different, I know I have a max speeding lift, but the install is exactly the same. The back was pretty easy. It just took a little longer to do, a little bit more involved. But only issue I had would be on the track bar back here, right there. Getting them bolts in. There's some new coils. Getting them bolts in were a little aggravating. I took that bolt out to let the track bar drop, but I ended up taking this one out, putting that one back in, then getting this one in. But it was a little aggravating. And this spring went in no problem. I actually put it on and had 2 inches above it to clear. The other one had to kind of pry in a little bit. So even though I had the frame flexed out the same amount, I'm not sure why that is. These will be the new tires we're running. They're 35s on 20. Got them pretty cleaned up. Good tread, Toyo Open Country MTs. That's all a sneak peek you get, then we're gonna run some B-roll. lot bigger in person than it shows up on camera. That is it up to my lowered S10. Camera doesn't do it justice.